Scientists have discovered a cave painting that may be the oldest known example of visual storytelling. It depicts human-like figures in a hunting scene.
Do you think that discovering the newly found cave paintings would change our opinions on the human race and our prehistorical culture? Around the world, caverns often conceal the oldest traces of humanity. From a 50,000-year-old cave painting that could rewrite human history to the world's most famous cave art, here are 20 ancient cave paintings that have been uncovered. Number 20. Cave of the Hands. The Cueva de las Manos, or the Cave of the Hands, is located in the remote and rugged landscape of Patagonia, Argentina. This UNESCO World Heritage Site is famous for its stunning collection of prehistoric rock art, with the most iconic feature being the over 800 stenciled handprints that cover the cave walls from which its name is derived. 9,000 years ago, these handprints were created by the region's early inhabitants using a technique that involved placing their hands against the rock and blowing pigments through bone tubes. Through this, negative images of their hands were left on stone. These hands might seem arbitrary, but with most of the marks being left hands, it suggests people at the time used their right hands to apply the paint, just as how the majority of us today use our right hands to write and draw. Aside from these handprints, the cave also features depictions of animals like guanacos, a relative of the llama, as well as hunting scenes that give us a glimpse into the lives of the ancient hunter-gatherers who once roamed this region. Unlike other cave art, the drawings in the Cueva de las Manos are spread across different cultural periods, with some paintings dating back as far as 13,000 years and others as recent as 1,300 years. Even so, they're ranked among the oldest cave arts ever found. Unfortunately, despite its remote location, the site faces challenges from natural erosion and human activity, making ongoing preservation efforts critical. Since its inclusion on the UNESCO World Heritage List in 1999, the number of tourists visiting the site has increased by a factor of 4. It's quite unsettling that many tourists leave graffiti in the cavern, threatening the safety of the 9,000-year-old artworks inside. Number 19. The Chauvet Cave. In the Ardèche region of southern France is the Chauvet Cave, one of the most remarkable archaeological discoveries of our time. This cave was discovered by accident in 1994 by 3 cavers, Jean-Marie Chauvet, Eliette Brunel Deschamps, and Christian Hilaire. Hidden by a rockslide for over 20,000 years, the cavern was an astounding find. Inside the cave were walls adorned with over 1,000 images, including some of the oldest and most sophisticated examples of prehistoric art known to humanity. These artworks date back approximately 30,000 to 32,000 years, placing them in the Aurignacian period. This era is often associated with the emergence of the earliest known anatomically modern humans in Europe. The art in the cave includes depictions of animals such as lions, mammoths, rhinoceroses, and bears, species that were not commonly hunted but perhaps revered or feared. One of the most renowned pieces is the horse panel, where a group of wild horses is depicted with incredible detail and movement. Due to its fragility, Chauvet Cave has been sealed off to the public to preserve the artwork. However, a full-scale replica, the Caverne du Pont d'Arc, allows visitors to experience and appreciate this prehistoric art without damaging the original site. Number 18. Cave of Altamira. In 1879, Marcelino Sanz de Sciuola, an amateur archaeologist, was led by his 8-year-old daughter Maria to a cave complex. The cave was approximately 3,300 feet long, consisting of twisting passages and chambers. Later on, Sciuola and archaeologist Juan Vilanova y Pira from the University of Madrid excavated the cave, revealing the impressive artworks it held within, most of which were deemed Paleolithic in origin. However, not everyone was convinced of the cave's authenticity. Shortly after its excavation, French specialists led by Gabriel de Mortillet and Émile Cartelhac were adamant in rejecting Sciuola's discovery, even going as far as accusing him of forgery. Skeptics argued that the lack of soot, even in the darkest parts of the cave, meant that modern lighting was used to create the artwork. Unfortunately, Sciuola had no rebuttal. It wasn't until 1902 that the scientific community began to accept Sciuola's find, 4 years after the archaeologist's death. Further excavation work on the cave was done by Hermilio Alcalde del Rio between 1902 and 1904, and 2 other excavations were carried out between 1924 and 1925, and finally in 1968. The artworks inside the cave are believed to have been created between 36,000 and 14,000 years ago. They depict a variety of animals, including bison, horses, and deer. The artists of Altamira used natural contours in the rock to give their subjects a 3-dimensional effect, a rather sophisticated and advanced technique for people at the time. Perhaps the most renowned artwork in the cave, however, is the polychrome ceiling, where a herd of bison appears to be in motion. The artist used a combination of engraving and painting, applying pigments made from natural materials like charcoal and red ochre. This ceiling is often celebrated as one of the highest achievements of Paleolithic art due to its realism. The cave's location, deep within a natural gallery protected from the elements, helped preserve these artworks in remarkable condition. However, when the cave was opened to the public, the preservation of the artworks was threatened, leading to its eventual closure. Today, visitors can only visit a replica at the nearby Altamira Museum. Number 17. One of the oldest prehistoric paintings in North America. From Australia, let's head over to the lower Pecos Canyonlands straddling the border between southwest Texas and Coahuila, Mexico. This place is home to one of the most remarkable collections of prehistoric rock art in North America. The deep canyons and ancient riverbeds have been a canvas for human expression for over 4,000 years. Among the most famous of these artworks is the White Shaman mural, a masterpiece of the Pecos River style. Spanning 26 feet in length and 13 feet in height, this painting is believed to be linked to the creation myths of the Uto-Aztecan-speaking peoples, such as the Aztec. Meanwhile, the Pecos River style, the earliest and most abundant in the region, dates back to around 2600 BCE. This style is characterized by large, dynamic human figures, often depicted with elaborate headdresses carrying ritualistic items. These images are thought to have been created during ritual ceremonies. The most interesting part is that researchers believe these artworks were created by people under the influence of psychoactive plants, which was most likely a way for them to communicate with the spiritual realm. The ongoing research led by scholars like Dr. Carolyn Boyd has helped decode many of the symbols and patterns found in these murals, revealing connections to the mythologies and rituals of civilizations hundreds of miles away. Today, the lower Pecos rock art sites, many of which are located on private land, are carefully preserved and studied. Visitors can explore some of these sites, such as the White Shaman Preserve and Seminole Canyon State Park, only through guided tours to ensure the preservation of the artworks. Number 16.
Lascaux Cave.
The Sistine Chapel is hailed as the cornerstone of high Renaissance art, with Michelangelo's artwork gracing its ceiling. In prehistoric art, the Sistine Chapel ceiling's counterpart would be the Lascaux Cave, located in the southwestern region of France. In 1940, teenagers and their dog named Robot discovered this cave by chance. It would soon become one of the most famous archaeological sites in the world. Hidden away in the hills of Montagnac, the cave's walls are adorned with over 600 paintings and around 1,500 engravings, most depicting animals that roamed the region during the Upper Paleolithic period around 17,000 years ago. The cave is divided into several galleries, each with its own unique set of artwork. The Hall of the Bulls, for example, features a 62-foot-long mural of majestic bulls, horses, and deer. The artists used the natural shapes of the cave walls to give these animals a sense of movement and life, making them appear almost three-dimensional. This technique, combined with mineral-based pigments, has helped the art withstand the test of time. The purpose behind these ancient masterpieces remains a topic of debate among scholars. Some theories suggest that the paintings were part of a hunting ritual meant to lead to a successful hunt. Others propose that the cave was a sacred space where shamans might have entered trances to connect with the spiritual world. Perhaps the cave artworks were merely expressions of creativity by people who lived at the time. Unfortunately, we might never know for sure. Like other cave art, the original Lascaux cave was closed to the public in 1963 due to the damage caused by visitors. The carbon dioxide exhaled by thousands of tourists was causing the colors to fade and mold to grow on the walls. To preserve the artwork, a replica known as Lascaux II was opened in 1983, followed by even more advanced replicas Lascaux III and Lascaux IV, which allow visitors to experience the wonder of the cave without harming the original site. Number 15. Horses and handprints. In 1922, André David and Henri Doutremont stumbled upon a cave while exploring southwestern France. This would become known as the Pech Merle Cave, a cavern that contains an astonishing collection of paintings and engravings that date back nearly 29,000 years. One of the most renowned artworks in the cave is the Spotted Horses mural, where two horses are depicted with black spots across their bodies. The spots themselves were likely created using manganese oxide, and radiocarbon dating has placed the mural's creation at around 24,600 years ago. While this might look like simple art, it actually has been a subject of debate by researchers. The spots on these horses alone divide experts, with some claiming that the feature indicates an extinct species of horse, while others suggest this detail is merely symbolic. The truth to this day is unknown. The cave also features lifelike images of mammoths, reindeer, human stencil handprints, and children's footprints, making it one of the greatest collections of prehistoric art. Number 14. Kakadu's rock art. Kakadu National Park in Australia is home to one of the most extensive and diverse collections of rock art in the world, with paintings that span over 20,000 years of history. Located in the Northern Territory, this UNESCO World Heritage Site boasts over 5,000 rock art sites, each offering a unique glimpse into the lives, beliefs, and environment of the Aboriginal people who have inhabited the region for millennia. The rock art of Kakadu is often divided into different periods. The earliest paintings, from what is known as the Prehistorine period, depict now extinct animals like the Tasmanian tiger, as well as large macropods, including, you guessed it, kangaroos. The later paintings, however, include human figures engaged in activities such as hunting and dancing, with many of them having intricate headdresses and ceremonial items. One of the most famous styles of Kakadu rock art is the X-ray art, where animals and humans are painted with their internal organs visible. This style emerged around 4,000 years ago and is particularly associated with the freshwater periods when the rising sea levels created the estuarine environments that still exist today. Unfortunately, the rock art in Kakadu faces threats from natural weathering, but hopefully preservation efforts will be enough to keep these artworks for longer. Number 13. The artworks on the Acacus Mountains. The Acacus Mountains, also known as Tadrart Acacus, are a UNESCO World Heritage Site nestled in the harsh desert landscape of southwestern Libya. The site is known for its stunning array of cave paintings and engravings, spanning from around 12,000 BC to 100 AD. Stretching about 62 miles, the rock art in the Acacus Mountains depicts a variety of scenes, including vibrant images of giraffes, elephants, and ostriches, animals that roamed the Sahara when it was a lush green savanna. As the climate changed and the desert expanded, the artworks also seemed to evolve, with the later pieces depicting camels and domesticated animals instead of the older drawings. Vandalism and the search for oil have caused considerable damage to some of the rock art. UNESCO and other organizations have raised alarms about the ongoing destruction, but these prehistoric artworks remain at risk of destruction to this day. Number 12. Artwork that revealed hunter-gatherer children attended prehistoric school. Deep within the Rouffignac caves in France are finger painting marks made by children some 13,000 years ago. Now, this is strangely familiar to the art activities we do today, and this might be because, just like kids today go to school, children of hunter-gatherers thousands of years ago also attended something akin to a learning center. You see, these finger markings weren't random. They follow patterns and demonstrate that even the youngest members of these hunter-gatherer societies were engaged in learning and artistic expression. These finger flutings, or lines drawn with fingers in soft clay, suggest that children were guided by adults, as their marks are found alongside those of the adults on the cave paths where this prehistoric art was created. In this subterranean classroom, children not only learned how to make art, but also the values, skills, and knowledge of their community. These finger paintings reveal that, unlike what we previously thought, education and creative expression were integral parts of life even in the Ice Age. Number 11. The Bhimbetka Rock Shelters. In the foothills of the Vindhya Mountains in central India lie the Bhimbetka Rock Shelters, some of the oldest in the world. These shelters were discovered in the 1950s and were recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 2003. The complex contains over 750 rock shelters, with more than 500 adorned with paintings that span from the Upper Paleolithic period around 30,000 years ago to the medieval period. Unlike other caves that contain artwork from a single era, the Bhimbetka rock shelters boast rock art from a vast chronological range. The earliest paintings depict large animals such as bison, tigers, and rhinoceroses. These animals were drawn in primitive ways. As time progressed, the art became more sophisticated. The Mesolithic period, for instance, is marked by smaller, more intricate depictions of human figures often engaged in activities like hunting, dancing, and communal rituals. Another intriguing feature of the Bhimbetka rock art is the superimposition of paintings. Newer art was layered over older works. Time and time again, people came back here simply to draw. This overlapping of images across different periods allowed researchers to study the region's inhabitants over thousands of years. Number 10. Apollo 11 Cave Art. In the remote Huns Mountains of southwestern Namibia lies the Apollo 11 Cave, which holds some of the oldest known art in Africa. Now, you're probably wondering why it's named after the moon landing mission. Well, it's simply because it was found by German archaeologist W.E. Went back in 1969, coinciding with the historic moon landing. Inside these caves were 7 palm-sized quartzite slabs adorned with some of the earliest known figurative artwork, dating back approximately 25,500 years. These stone fragments depict animals in charcoal, ochre, and white pigments, with the most intriguing piece being an image that seems to combine features of a feline, possibly a lion, with the horns of an antelope and the hind legs of a human. This is one of the most creative cave drawings found in the region. With most of the artworks in the Upper Paleolithic era being direct depictions of animals, this figure shows the creativity and imagination of people in that era. These artworks predate most other forms of African rock art by thousands of years, making them one of the most significant artworks in the region. Number 9. The oldest known picture story in the history of mankind. One of the earliest ways mankind left its mark was by drawing primitive figures on cave walls. The oldest used to be a 45,000-year-old cave painting in Indonesia. Yet, in July 2021, another cave painting was found on the island of Sulawesi, one that predates the oldest known cave painting by 6,000 years. This artwork was found in the Leang Tedongnge cave, and experts estimate that it's over 51,000 years old. What makes this discovery so remarkable is the sophistication of the figures, which show early humans not just as hunters, but as storytellers and perhaps spiritual beings. The large wild pig depicted is believed to have had significant meaning for the people of that era, possibly symbolizing survival or a revered animal spirit. The fine details in the depiction suggest that early humans had already developed an understanding of artistic techniques, shading, and even movement. The painting depicts 3 human-like figures interacting with a large wild pig, and this shows one of the earliest examples of humans using art to convey stories, emotions, and possibly even beliefs. This discovery continues to challenge our understanding of when and how human creativity first flourished. The existence of this painting also opens up the possibility of even older undiscovered art across the globe, changing our perspective on ancient human culture. Number 8.
Rock art in Lascaux cave complex.
Discovered in 2002 by a team of French archaeologists, Lascaux is one of Africa's most significant rock art sites, offering a glimpse into the lives of prehistoric communities from around 5,000 years ago. Located in Somaliland, this complex of caves and rock shelters is adorned with some of the best-preserved Neolithic paintings in the world. Most of the paintings depict cattle, which are often shown in elaborate ceremonial garb, with their bodies adorned in radiant hues of red, orange, yellow, and white. These cows are depicted with exaggerated horns and often appear central to the spiritual or cultural rituals of the people who created them. Some scenes even show humans in reverence, possibly worshipping the cattle, which revealed people's religious practices at the time. Aside from cattle, dogs, giraffes, and antelopes were also depicted in the artworks, showing the close relations between people and animals in the region thousands of years ago. Number 7. Rock art of Serra de Capivara. Serra de Capivara National Park in northeastern Brazil is home to over 30,000 rock paintings spread across 800 rock shelters, many dating as far back as 50,000 years. These artworks are done in vibrant hues of red, yellow, white, and gray, and they vary in style, reflecting the long span of time over which they were created. Some findings in the park, including stone tools and charcoal remains, suggest human activity in the region as far back as 100,000 years, long before the traditionally accepted timeline of human migration into the Americas via the Bering Strait around 12,000 years ago. This has sparked intense debate among archaeologists, with some arguing that the evidence could completely rewrite our understanding of early human history. To this day, this prehistoric art continues to be studied by experts. Number 6. Gabuston rock art. Gabuston is a mesmerizing UNESCO World Heritage Site that holds one of the most significant collections of rock art in the world. This ancient gallery, etched in the rocky outcrops of the Gabuston Reserve, contains carvings that span from the Upper Paleolithic period around 40,000 years ago up to the Middle Ages. It has more than 6,000 petroglyphs, which depict a wide range of scenes from everyday life. These include hunting, dancing, ritual ceremonies, and the domestication of animals. One of the most renowned artworks in the region is the depiction of the Dancing Men, a series of figures that appear to be engaged in a ritual dance. Today, Gabuston continues to be a significant site for researchers and tourists who would like to immerse themselves in the earliest artworks created by humankind. Number 5. Fugoppe Cave Petroglyph. Speaking of puzzling prehistoric art, here are the Fugoppe Cave petroglyphs in Hokkaido, Japan. Discovered in 1950, the cave houses around 800 carvings that date back to between 100 and 400 AD during the late Jomon to Epi-Jomon period. These petroglyphs are among the few examples of rock art in the nation, making them incredibly significant. These artworks depict human figures who, strangely enough, are adorned with wings or horns. These unusual attributes have led to various interpretations, with some suggesting they represent shamanic figures or spiritual beings possibly tied to religious rituals. The carvings, made in soft high-talc rock, were likely created by abrasion and then polished to enhance their visibility. This technique has preserved them well over the centuries. Even though the cave is relatively shallow, only about 7 meters deep, the cave was initially overlooked as it was buried under debris, only to be rediscovered by accident. Since then, it's become a significant archaeological site, shedding light on the cultural practices of the people who lived in Hokkaido thousands of years ago. Today, visitors to Fugoppe Cave can see reconstructions of the petroglyphs at the on-site museum. Number 4. Creswell Crags artworks. Nestled between Derbyshire and Nottinghamshire, Creswell Crags is a limestone gorge that contains the only known Ice Age cave art in Britain. The caves at Creswell Crags, particularly Church Hole, revealed engravings that date back over 12,000 years. These ancient artworks include depictions of animals like stags and bison, and even more enigmatic images that have sparked endless debate among archaeologists. Some experts believe that certain carvings could have had spiritual significance, while others think they may have been used in early rituals or storytelling. The meticulous detail in the animal figures hints at the importance of these creatures to the Ice Age hunters who lived there. Today, Creswell Crags offers an immersive experience where visitors can explore these ancient caves, walk in the footsteps of Ice Age hunters, and even see the actual engravings that have survived millennia. Alongside guided tours, the site also hosts exhibitions that delve deeper into the lives of the early humans who called these caves home. With its rich history and remarkable artwork, Creswell Crags remains a vital link to our prehistoric past. Number 3. Tsodilo Rock Art. The Louvre of the Desert Tsodilo, a UNESCO World Heritage Site located in the Kalahari Desert of northwestern Botswana, is one of the most significant rock art locations in Africa. Boasting more than 4,500 individual paintings scattered across an area of just 10 square kilometers, the Tsodilo Hills, consisting of 4 main hills known as Male, Female, Child, and an unnamed smaller hill, rise dramatically from the surrounding flatlands and have been a spiritual center for thousands of years. The Sand People, who are believed to have created much of the art, view the hills as sacred, with each hill representing a different aspect of life. The Female Hill, for example, is considered the most sacred and is believed to be where the spirits of the dead reside. The art found in these hills often reflects the spiritual beliefs of the San, with some paintings thought to depict trance dances or shamanistic rituals where the participants would connect with the spiritual world. The rock art at Tsodilo dates back over 20,000 years, making it one of the oldest and most continuous records of human settlement in the region. The paintings predominantly depict human figures, animals, and geometric patterns, with most being giraffes, elephants, and eland, which were central to the lives of the hunter-gatherer communities that once thrived here. Aside from these artworks, archaeological excavations have also revealed artifacts, tools, and remnants of ancient dwellings that provide a glimpse into the lives of the people who lived there over millennia. Number 2. 15,000-year-old drawings of woolly mammoths and rhinos. Deep in the rugged, remote borderlands between Russia and Mongolia, researchers have uncovered a stunning open-air gallery of ancient rock art that dates back 15,000 years, also known as the Ice Age. This gallery shows drawings of woolly mammoths, woolly rhinoceroses, and other now-extinct megafauna. The engravings are etched with incredible detail, capturing the sheer size and power of these massive creatures as they once dominated the landscape. The discovery gives us an intimate glimpse into the lives of early humans, who not only coexisted with these giants, but also revered them enough to immortalize their images in stone. This discovery, originally made in the 1990s and further explored in the early 2000s, has since been dated to the Upper Paleolithic period, a time when these majestic creatures roamed the vast Siberian steppes. The site is now seen as one of the most significant prehistoric finds in the region, with some experts believing the rock art may hold clues to early human spiritual beliefs. These artworks were only rediscovered in 2020, and as studies continue, their meaning and significance might also change. The intricate designs may offer new insights into the social and cultural life of Ice Age people, providing a deeper understanding of how they interacted with the world around them. Now it's time for today's topic. In the heart of the Kimberley region, Australia, a shocking discovery has left archaeologists and historians in disbelief. Hidden deep within a remote cave system, explorers stumbled upon a cave painting estimated to be over 50,000 years old. The ancient artwork depicts strange humanoid figures beneath an enormous, disc-shaped object hovering in the sky. What's even more unsettling is the detailed portrayal of beams of light descending from the craft, seemingly drawing animals and humans alike into its radiance. Local indigenous elders, who have long spoken of the Wandjina sky beings in their Dreamtime stories, were equally alarmed. Although these legends have been passed down for generations, this particular painting presents an eerily vivid depiction of something far more ominous. Scientists studying the find are puzzled by the precision and the unsettling message it seems to convey. Could this be evidence of ancient extraterrestrial contact? Or is it a representation of forgotten celestial events that humanity is only now beginning to understand? The discovery has reignited debates about the origins of ancient cultures and whether these early humans had encounters with beings from beyond our world. What secrets does the Kimberley hold, and what else might be waiting to be uncovered in its mysterious caves? Number 1. Magura Cave Art. Magura Cave, located in northwestern Bulgaria near the town of Belogradchik, stretches about 1.55 miles and is one of the most fascinating prehistoric sites in Europe, renowned for its extensive collection of rock art that dates back over 8,000 years. The artwork within Magura Cave is diverse, featuring over 700 drawings that span different historical periods, including the Epipaleolithic, Neolithic, and Early Bronze Age. You wouldn't believe how these paintings were created. You see, these artworks are made from bat droppings or bat guano that has been fossilized over millennia, and they depict a variety of scenes from hunting rituals to religious ceremonies. Among the most notable of these artworks is one of the oldest known solar calendars, dating back approximately 7,000 years. Through this old depiction, we learned that the early settlers in the region had 366 days in a single year. Within this cave is also an art gallery where you can find intricate anthropomorphic and zoomorphic figures, geometric patterns, and symbolic motifs. This part of the cave was particularly well preserved, or at least it used to be until visitors vandalized the area. With the cave's temperature being a constant 12 degrees Celsius, it remains one of the most popular year-round destinations in the region, which unfortunately also threatens its preservation. There might be even older cave paintings out there waiting to be discovered. What other aspects of prehistory spark your curiosity? Share your thoughts in the comments below, and don't forget to check out the other interesting content appearing on your screen right now. See you next time.